Previously on Always Off Brand.
Frozen, I was waiting for you to stop talking about the weather so we could move on.
Wow, that's rare that you waited for me to stop talking. Why are you doing that?
I'm trying to be less interruptive.
Well, hello there, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whenever you're hearing this, could be 2 a.m. It could be on a walk late at night in a summer day. Scott Oshman here, Always Off Brand. Good morning, Summer.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. My part sucked, but the previously on part, that was solid.
Sure, LeBron.
Oh my God. Are you calling me a flopper? And since when do you have any sports references?
Because you were just at my house trying to dunk.
Oh, yeah, that was good. I put that in the episode. I know you don't listen, but I did put that in the episode.
Listen, I'm like an actor. I don't see my own work. It's
I know.
Too hard. It's too hard.
Happy Friday. And we don't have Haley Bruck in the news. She's off doing horsey things with the horses.
Horsey things.
What? She is. She's off at a horse show.
So listen, speaking of basketball, yesterday I come home from getting my nails done. They look really cute.
Fabulous.
And my son and my husband are playing basketball, and my son's getting livid, my 10-year-old. He's so mad, which he just had a birthday last week. So happy birthday, Chase. And he's literally has his back to the hoop. He won't turn around and he's just shooting. And he's getting so mad because he's only making like 1 in every 5 shots. Right.
Okay.
So he's making, and I'm like, what is wrong with you? Like, I'm so frustrated with this child. And then Matt, because he's getting so mad, like he's just, and I'm like, it's like getting angry that you can't fly. That is my child. He's like, this is bullshit.
Well, he's used to, what did he say the BS word?
No, I don't know if he knows that word.
He's just so used to being great at everything. Is that the problem?
Yes. And just like, I don't have to try. I just naturally am good. Yeah. And it got me. I remembered, and I took a deep breath because when he was about 9 months old, Matt's aunt reads charts. And she read his chart, and I'm holding like my sweet little 9-month-old child could do no wrong. And she's like, oh yeah, he's reincarnated. I was like, excuse me? She's like, listen, his past life, he was a very successful businessman, and his company crashed and failed.
Oh.
And he died before he had a chance to resurrect it and make it better. So he came into this world with a point to prove.
Oh, wow.
And she said, whenever you're fighting with him, you have to remember, like, you have to talk to him almost like he's an adult. And since day one, Chase has always been like, I tried to teach him how to tie his shoe. After teaching him once, he threw a fit that he couldn't do it by himself. I'm like, Chase, I just taught you. He's like, I'm the only 7-year-old who doesn't know how to tie their shoes. So anyways, I'm remembering this story because the other day we go to laser tag and we're with his hockey team, and everyone, you get to have a name for yourself, right? Like your gamer name. And everyone's like, fly guy, blah, 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 and ace shooter, like whatever these fun, silly hockey names. And Chase looks at me seriously and goes, Jeff Bezos.
Whoa.
I said,
What?
Why? And I'm like, I don't even think I have ever said the name Jeff Bezos around you, but yet he knows he's a successful businessman. I don't know if he knows all the bad things about him.
I was just gonna say that's not. We gotta tame that. We gotta give him something different because we didn't even do that story where his dickmobile blew up. Listen,
I just want to take that old man that's inside of him and get an exorcism and shove him out. Like, what do I do?
First of all, if they got a game going, call me. I'll come down, and I want to partake in the hoops. There.
Oh, then you can see the angry businessman in full force.
I want to see that. I've seen him. I love that kid. I love that. I love both your kids. Your kids are actually just lovely, lovely children.
Well, you saw Chase come in before we started recording. He's a Sour Patch Kid.
Oh.
He's like super irritated, be angry at you, and 2 seconds later, it's like, can we cuddle?
He's a Gemini.
Can I just get a hug?
He's 2 people in one.
Yep, it's lovely.
Do you have some some cool transition to our incredible guest, which shout out you for getting a guest. Thank you. Nice job.
Well,
on
you know, every now and then I got to pull my weight.
Do you have any type of witty, fun transition to our guest?
Listen, this guest came into my life and opened my eyes to what we haven't been seeing from an e-com digital perspective. And he's so customer centric that anyone listening is going to find some juicy nuggets out of this. They're going to have some takeaways of what they can do now. And I have a really strong suspicion they're going to laugh a lot during this pod.
Okay, let's start the music. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and dogs, coming to the YouTube stage. We are on YouTube at Always Off Brand. He's a purveyor. He's an expert. Some call him a guru of consumer experience when you're shopping on a screen. He does it all, ladies and gentlemen. Max Smith.
Hey, everyone. Wow, what an intro. I hope I can live up to that. So many titles. Also, summer, it's so funny. So I've always been an old soul, like even when I was younger, I was raised by my grandparents. They were like, oh, you're such an old man, da, 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 da. So I hear you on the whole Chase thing and, having this old, soul in them. But it's so funny. I am obsessed also with I guess, old white businessmen, but it's much more like captains of industry, robber barons. I'm sitting in my library. I can prove this. I literally have this book.
Listen, he just pulled a book off his bookshelf. I did.
And it's all about John Paul Getty's grandson who got kidnapped and yeah. I love an old money dynasty, crazy. It's so good.
Tell everyone what the book is, because I need a new book.
Okay, it's called Kidnapped. And it's all about the Getty grandson, heir, right? And he was really ticked at his grandfather, who just has all the money.
Yeah.
The grandfather is so cheap, and of course the grandfather's the one that set the business, Getty
right.
Oil. The grandfather is so cheap in his palatial mansion. No lie, he had a pay phone. So if you wanted to make a call, you would have to pay to use the phone. And the grandson,
I'm parenting all wrong.
Yeah, really. The grandson, may or may not, to this day, it's still not clear, have faked his kidnapping to shake his grandfather down for coin, which he did not pay.
Wait, did you just?
Yeah, that's the whole spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
Oh, you don't even know about the mutilations. And, there's a lot. Don't worry.
Oh, all right. I'm getting
some part of his body may have been sent in the mail.
This is right up Summer's alley. She likes the most darkest criminal stories. You like the weirdest, darkest shit.
Listen, I know we're way off
Are we?
topic for
I think we're right on.
But listen, Scott and I have been chatting about the pod, and I have been this close to saying, Scott, can you direct and produce a podcast for me where I just review books? Because I read so much and I love books. I'm like, we need a podcast that talks about them.
Invite me on that too. I'm ready.
Done.
Sure.
I'll try my best not to completely spoil the plot though on the next round.
I'm famously Scotty spoiler. I spoil movies. I spoil a lot. I don't mean to. It just happens.
You get excited. You're like, I gotta tell you this cool part.
Yes, exactly. Speaking of cool parts, so user experience, how we shop, the behavior, the why behind the consumer about when they get on here. And I was talking before we hit record, old time retail. I grew up selling into retail and spent a lot of time in retail. And I'm fascinated still by the amazing, the merchandising and the art and the science behind, and I think it's a lost art sometimes in the digital world, of how we present things and how we get the consumer to experience a physical store or a digital store, and how we bring the product to life and how we open their eyes to different things, all that kind of stuff. So apparently you're kind of good at that.
Rumor has it. Okay. So I used to work at this other company in my past that was a wholesale knitwear company. And we literally sold knitwear to Walmart all the way up to Dior. And it was, just all sweaters. But anyway, we had the saying there, even though we didn't have a storefront, we were just purveyors for private label for these individual stores. It all starts on the shop floor. And having grown up in retail, one of my very first jobs was at this vintage store in Frederick, Maryland called Venus on the Half Shell. Shout out to Jennifer, who still owns it. It's glorious. Go. It's genius. I really just learned from Jump Street, that the customer is everything. And it's about a relationship, because guys, at the end of the day, who amongst us needs another sweater? Not I, trust. You should see my
Summer does. To be fair, Summer does. She always needs
You're tired of all her sweaters?
She needs something always. She's just constantly buying shit nonstop. That's
not
again,
true.
That's
Not
your
true.
words, not mine.
Okay.
Right. But whether it's a need or not, here's the point, is that, okay, you go, say like if you wanted like, a pink crew neck sweater, a million companies sell that. So it's really all about the why. Why does the customer need this sweater? Why does the customer resonate with this brand? Why is this website an easy, enjoyable experience for the customer to navigate, to get that, crew neck pink sweater into their cart, into their hands, into their life story? And so I just think that so many times everything is looked at as very transactional, very numbers, very forgetting that there is a end user, and B, that end user should incorporate the thing you're selling to them into their life. It should be part of their lives if it actually really matters. Because again, it goes back to that, no, we don't need that sweater. But wow, when it showed up and it was glorious and it had beautiful, cable knit in it, and it has like a great hand feel, it's now it's filling a need I didn't know I needed.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, you get bells, you get all kinds of stuff there.
So I just always look at it as like, how can I make the shop front, be it the website or whatever, a more enjoyable experience for them? How does it really exemplify the brand and continue to tell the brand story that creates that connection for the customer? But also, how am I, even as simple as things as like, where's the button I tap, how is it merchandised? How is that going to ultimately feed into this like enjoyable, pleasurable experience that then that product becomes part of my life?
So Mac, how do you, you're saying the how, so how do you do it? What are people missing that you're driving, millions of people to your site? They're not converting, or they're not getting the experience. And you're like, I am pretty, right? Like,
stop.
Pick me. So how do you do it?
Well, again, having worked in vintage, I learned this lesson very quickly. We would get things in, right? We'd be very excited about it. Be like, oh my God, look at this Poochie, original caftan. And, that's going to be right out the door, right?
Yeah.
And then you would just have like these, predetermined dogs that you're like, that's just filler. We need something to fill up that rack. And then that would move. So it's just, you cannot predict it. So what you can do though, is listen. And I'm the worst person to be delivering this message, as I'm a chatty Cathy, but that's how I've had to learn this lesson.
Welcome to the pod.
Less talk, more listening. And so your customer's telling you stuff all the time, when they come into the site, do they bounce right away? Oh, well then something's wrong. Where do you heat map? That is the key, kids. You got to heat map, because that's that's basically just.
Explain what heat mapping is for our listeners.
Yeah. So it's a technology that allows you to see where on a website you could start, like say, for instance, on the homepage, where on the homepage is getting the most engagement, the most interaction. And you can, choose your metrics. So quite often you want to see like how, tap rate, but you can see click-through rate. You can see ultimate conversion rate, through their user journey starting there. And if you've ever watched or used the Weather Channel, you know how to heat map. Because that part where it comes on, it's like today's Doppler radar, and the little cloud comes in and it's dark green and mean.
I hate that cloud.
Yeah. And then God forbid if it's red and it's all like, I'm gonna get you. So that's what it's about. It's literally color coding and showing you like, oh wow, that. But then also if you're just like, no, color's not for me, girl. You can also have the numbers right there. It's like, this has this amount of tap percentage, yada yada yada. And so it shows you the customer journey. Because again, it goes back to this idea of like, I could sit here and try and hypothesize. I could kind of like try and figure out if the customer walks into my brick and mortar and walks right out, why did that happen? This will show you at least something to back stuff up. It'll be like,
Mm.
okay, well, this is the part that they got into, and we're like, okay, this is where I'm exiting. This is something that caught their eye. This is something that you thought and had prominently displayed up front, as the homepage banner or whatever. Yeah, they don't like that. Bye. They're interested in that part that's back further in the store.
But did the caftan sell? I'm sorry, I can't get off the caftan. Did it sell quickly? I mean, did it jump right off the rack?
Honey, a vintage Poochie never sticks around. Facts is facts.
Okay, hey, I just wanted to close. I wanted to, button that one up.
Oh, there were no buttons. It's a caftan.
Well played. Summer.
So,
Summer, by the way, I just got to tell the listeners, Summer prepared her ass off for this episode.
I'm sorry.
Just nice job out of you, Summer. Seriously, great job. All of the topics, everything you hear is produced and brought to you by Summer Jubileer.
Nope. Let's not say that yet till we see the numbers. Listen.
Oh dear. What if I tank? What if I'm the dog? Oh,
You're not the dog. Let's go.
So most marketers, like when you're launching your site, they have a feeling, they have an intuition of what's going to work. And then the data comes in. What do you think most people what are they not getting right when they're launching and creating these sites? That they're making assumptions. What do they tend to get wrong?
I think all of it is internal dialogue. And it happens before you launch, and it absolutely, I see it all the time, absolutely happens after you launch. Mm-hmm. So, inside you could be launching like, this pillar that has 3 products in it, let's say. And in that portfolio, you're like, well, this is going to be the obvious winner. And we just threw this third one in or whatever, as like a niche thing that might talk to certain people. And, so you're already doing it. You're speculating.
Yeah.
And as you should be kind of trying to buy in deep on things that you think are going to move, et cetera, et cetera.
Especially when you're first launching, because you truly don't know, right? You have a thought and you think it's going to do well.
And you could do and you should do user research. You should do, focus groups and things like that. You should have that. But what people say in a room is different than what they do at the checkout. They'll tell you a whole bunch of stuff, but then when it's time to part with your money, you be waffling. So
why? Why do you think that is?
Because it's like brain logic versus emotional logic. And or also it's 2026, honey, and my dollars are hard earned and I need to them. But even, it goes back to that emotional connection. So many times brands lose out on, we're not just a swap meet. We're not just a place to get something done. So people will say something in a room when you're giving them free product or $100 or something to talk to you. They'll tell you whatever you want to hear, or maybe they'll be honest, yada, yada, yada. But again, they're using a very rational way. But when it is time to make that purchase, and when you're thinking, okay, is this worth the money? Is the value there? But also that additional value of what value is it going to add to my life? Again, it goes back to this, how is this going to make my life richer and happier? People will be like, nah, I don't need that skirt. I don't need that, whatever. I don't need that thing, that new appliance, that new doodad. But to go back to the question, so then, you'll speculate into these 3 products, the business.
Yeah.
You'll speculate into these 3 products and you're like, okay, I've heard the numbers and people are saying yes on item A. Then you launch it. And yeah, sure, maybe item A is selling, but it's not selling what you thought. And meanwhile, dark horse item C has a pretty good conversion rate. If you do your actual research, you could find out, oh, this is higher subscription rate. The attractiveness scale is higher on this. So while you may not be getting the sessions or whatever, you're getting the investment. People have bought in. People are loving it. It is part of their lives. It's enriching their lives. So you're going to get this very loyal customer. And so that's what you have to do. You really have to be nimble ahead of time, and most importantly, nimble after you launch, after the fact, and constantly nimble. Because so then you pivot to that and you're like, okay, I really want to put a lot of investment into this because the customer's responding to it.
Right.
That could be this week, that could be this month. Things move in real time. The same as you may love that pink crew neck sweater for the next 2 years. That may be part of your story. And then for some reason you pull it out the 3rd year and you're like, nah, girl, we're done.
But can I talk about navigation, which I think is all part of this, right? The most frustrating I get and that I see is when I've gotten to the homepage, I've gotten there from a specific what other ad or however I got there, right? Then that's where your genius comes to play. And I get irritated when I have to click. It's a freaking treasure hunt. It's like a mystery when I got to get to what I want to get to. It's like, it's like, I'm looking for golf shoes. Okay, there's like 17 menus. I have to look here. I have to look here. Yes, I put in the search, and then if I don't search it right, it doesn't give me, and then it's scrolling down. And again, there's a bunch of other product detail page issues and whatever. How is there some heat map like of the world that shows the right navigation? I mean,
heat map of the world. Okay, so you can obviously track that stuff through heat mapping, but you can also do journey analysis. And so you can see where your
journey analysis. I like that. Permission to steal.
Please, it's yours. I stole it. All the best things just get stolen around. It's great. So you could see all kinds of things. You could see, like, obviously where the customers are coming in from and where they're starting their trip, where the pain points are, where the rage clicks, where all the moments where they're bouncing, they're exiting, all those things that are very telling, you will be able to see that. I mean, also you could literally ask customers, you could watch their journeys back. Like, they'll tell you, trust me, they want to tell you, especially, I don't need to tell y'all. People got gripes, they will tell you.
Yes.
They're happy to do it. So it's like all that is a treasure trove of knowledge. Again, listen to the customer. The customer will tell you. But there isn't a heat map of the world yet, Jeff Bezos. But there is just watching your customer journey, seeing where they're going, what they're enjoying. Because another, way you can track that is like, where are they coming in through the ads? Are they coming in through the nav? Are they coming through the homepage hero? You can literally see where those pain points come up. You can also see, and one of the favorite pieces of data I like to track is conversion rate as a whole. So say, for instance, I have a lower funnel ad that features, a new product that is part of that, it's one of those 3 products.
A, B, and C. Yeah.
Yeah. So say it features product A. They come in. I like to see what their conversion is as a whole. So they could land on that PDP for product A and be like, okay, this was cool. This piqued my interest. This brought me in. But now that I'm here, I don't know if I need that. But wait a minute, what is this cross-promotional item you have here? What else is in the mix? Oh, I'm going to add product D, E, and F into my cart. Boom, here's my money. That's great. That's a great experience. And I think far too often, brands will write that off as like, well, that failed. They didn't buy product A.
Because they didn't buy product A. So they're too busy focused on like the direct link of the sale. Yeah.
The one for one, the apples to apples. And what you don't want is people to come in through product A and then either bounce right away or put nothing in their cart. And I'll go back.
That's merchandising. That's what old school merchandising is what goes to what and whatever. I mean, so sorry to interrupt, but that's what we do.
No, but you're setting me up perfectly. It's literally that. Remember, we're going to go back to our friend, the Poochie Captain.
Oh, I love her.
You put her in the window. You put her behind the counter. Again, my friend Jennifer, who owns the vintage store, has this great saying, price to sit. And so then you price her to sit. And she is what lures you in. She's the siren pulling you this way. And then you're like, nah, girl, I'm not spending 5 digits on that. But here's 4 digits worth of other things I have picked up. I'm using extreme numbers there, but you get the idea. Like, so that's a success. And that is quite often a trick that is used in merchandising, like, shopkeeping storefronts. And not to say that you should ever have products necessarily that are priced to sit. What I'm saying is that things can be appealing to them that the customer ultimately doesn't buy, but they've bought into your brand.
Love that. But
no bell ring for that. Fine. I feel robbed.
Jesus.
Yes.
All right. She told me you were going to be tough.
I did.
I'm kidding. Go ahead, Summer.
But Mac, when you're diagnosing a page and you're diagnosing the customer journey that we're talking about, what do you think most marketers miss, or they minimize. It's like a key data input that they are not paying a close enough attention to. So you kind of talked about like you're focused on, product A drove the person to the site, but they didn't convert, so that didn't work. But is there any other examples of data that people are getting and they're just not giving it enough attention to?
I think you never want to overlook any form of retention strategy. So say, for instance, I come in and, I'm poking around and I'm like, oh, I don't know, I just wanted to check this out. The ad piqued my interest, but I'll sign up for these emails. And, I bought into a certain degree to the brand, I'm like, okay, well, keep me in the loop about what's going on. Or, I came in through product A and I'm like, nah, I'm not into that or whatever, but I am into product X. And this is something that I know I'm going to use and deplete and I need to replenish. So I'm going to set up a subscription for this. There's so many ways that the customer is telling you that they are feeling you, that they are vibing off you, that again, I think kind of gets lost if you are just trying to have one outcome. You've got to be just very, very flexible in seeing what the wins are.
Oh, I don't know about flexibility. That's hard for me.
Oh, I mean, yoga for years and I'm still like, I can't touch my toes.
Listen, we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, Mac, I want to get into some the red flags that people are not paying attention to, and would love your thoughts on what brands should be focused on and what maybe they can just dismiss. We'll talk about that when we come back.
This is Jason Del Rey, owner and author of The Isle, and you're listening to Always Off Brand.
And we are back with Mac Smith, site extraordinaire. Listen, Mac, you can drive a lot of traffic to your site, but people tend to bounce. And I need to know, what do you do? What is a red flag you're seeing if you're having an issue with a page? What pops out to you the most?
Yeah, way to steal my answer. So the answer is bounce. The answer is bounce. So, but that seems so obvious, right?
But that's everybody in a long conversation you want to get out of. You're like, hey, I got to bounce.
Okay, so heat map that conversation. Be like,
Boom!
What did I say that made them want to exit?
Mac, I am a 40-year-old perimenopausal woman. All I do is sit at night in bed, heat mapping the conversations I just had.
Okay, we'll save that for therapy. But when you're at work, you can be like, okay, why are they leaving? What is going on? And it goes back to this comparison to a store. If someone walks in my store and they just walk right back out, does it stink? Do I need to spray a nice, diptyque thing and light a candle? Are they walking in and just realizing, oh, this isn't for me?
Okay, I have to insert a recommendation for anybody. Why don't you acknowledge a human being entered the store?
Hello, people.
Good Lord.
People.
As a former guest welcomer of the Gap, I take a little
okay, Gap.
Stand at the front of the Gap, be like, welcome to Gap.
You'd be surprised by how many places now. I mean, I'm getting a little off topic, but you walk in and it's like, hi, I'm here. You're not even going to acknowledge me?
God, just don't get me going on that. But there's a heat map for that too, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's called my fist.
It's called my pocket. It's my money. I walk out.
Yes.
I bounce. See how I brought it right back? We bounce.
And the thing is you're not going to do that on a site, and God forbid if you do, because don't do little weird pop-ups that are just like, hi, we see you're on the site. Hi, would you like to save 10%? Hi, would you like to do this? Nobody likes all that.
Really? Why is everyone doing it, Mac?
I
hate these.
Because they think it's engagement. So we've latched onto this word engagement, right?
Okay.
That's not engagement. That's fake. That's fakeatry. That's that person that's folding the sweaters with the dead smile in their eyes. And they're like, hello, welcome to the Gap. Nobody wants that.
You can always break off an engagement.
And so, I see what you did there. And so you just don't want to pester people, especially, here's the thing, kids. If I'm choosing an e-com and I'm choosing an online version of this, I want a streamlined experience. So I particularly don't want I don't want little interruptions, what I do want. Like if I'm in the store and I'm trying things on, I don't want putty. How's it working out for you? What's going on? Da 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 da. It's like, no, pester off. If I need you, I'll let you know.
Yeah, but you got to know that this is a thing digitally we don't understand. So reading the audience, understanding every customer's different, every consumer's different walking in. So I think this is the get to the bounce part and the red flags. I'm just saying this is a common issue because the brands get so tied up in their own stuff, their own bubble. I think everybody has their own like unique navigate how they want to see the structure and navigation and the UX, the user experience of the site. And we were just talking with a customer the other day, and he's like, we're like, work on your site, bro. Like it needs to move here, it needs to do this. And he's like, well, it makes perfect sense to him in his head.
Because it's in his head and he's in the sauce. He's like, sipping the Kool-Aid all day long. But you're asking other people to like, take up some fruit punch. They may want grape. So And you know what? It's a great segue into that. So then A/B test it. If you think the UI should be this, if you think, the experience should be this, test it. You'll find what works better. You'll be able to get feedback in real time. It's just about listening. It's just about listening to both like what they're literally telling you, but also what they're figuratively telling you. And so if you have a homepage and you have, say, like 2 heroes, right? And say you're launching 2 collections simultaneously. And again, you've done this internal, thought process, this planning, 18, 30-page decks. I'm being very 130-page decks. Great. You're just talking to yourself. It's just a bunch of noise. It's just a bunch of PowerPoints. What matters is now how is the customer reacting to that? And so you could have like launch A at the top of the homepage and launch B at the lower part of the homepage. And I like to use this application called Content Square, which really leans into attractiveness scale. And so the attractiveness scale will tell you how engaged customers who make it to that area actually are. And so by logic, the front of the store will get the most foot traffic. The homepage hero will get the most foot traffic. But that's just sessions. Traffic is not dollars. And so,
wait, hold on. Traffic is not dollars.
I mean, it's dollars in your budget, but it's not dollars in your pocket. And so
that's good shit right there. Sorry, Eva. That is really good stuff. It's that because I think we get caught up in that, right? And that's no shade on anybody. Like if your job is to drive conversion and you're in charge of sales, the high number and the CFOs or whoever's looking at it. But you got to unpack that a little bit. Is that what you're saying? You got to kind of go a little bit deeper and understand where the traffic's going.
Is it quality traffic?
Yeah.
I could get a whole bunch of people to my website, sure. But are they ever, tending to buy anyway? Like, is this just junk?
Yeah.
So how do you know the difference between your site's failing, like the way you've set up your site isn't working versus, no, you're just sending me bad traffic?
Well, you very much obviously want to continue to engage with like what's actually happening when the customers get there. Again, if they're bouncing right away, that's junk traffic. If they're just doing a little micro scroll, you can measure, again, through Content Square in particular, you can measure time spent on the site, how many pages they clicked through, did they even add to cart? Did they even get to a cart, et cetera? What are they actually engaging with? And, very quickly without overthinking it, you can figure out, you're like, well, that was just, 1,000 of those people just came to the site and bounced immediately. That was a waste of time. Great. It's empty calories. It's not doing anything for me. Like I love Sour Patch Kids, but one cannot live off those. And so you also have to pick up an apple from time to time. And so I just think, there's that, but then there's also just seeing how bad, how much they're adding into their cart, testing things, it's all the metrics that we know. And one of the other applications I really enjoy using is Fermat, and they allow us to test.
Wait, what's it called?
It's Fermat. It's actually
Fermat. We've had
the video will allow, because they sent me this. It's FERMAT. And they do this really cool thing, especially at the PDP level. So like if you're driving lower traffic or lower funnel traffic, but also like, through the nav, whatever, if they're landing on the PDP for product A, we have our established product A, what we think works, and a lot of that is, sign off by lawyers and regulatory and yada, 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 yada. And, all the muckety mucks. But Vermont allows me to like take risks, which again, muckety mucks and lawyers are like, no. But this allows me to take risks because it happens on their subdomain. And so I can test all kinds of new things. And so if I have this wackadoodle theory of like, hey, they're here for product A, go with me on this crazy journey, even though product X has nothing to do with product A, like maybe they all like it. So let's put that in the mix too. And there's no harm, no foul, because that's what's beautiful about testing things. My old boss used to say, every question you don't ask is already a no. And so
I tell you, you're just a quote machine, Max Smith. Holy sheboygan.
But it's so true. You have nothing to lose by trying things. Nothing. Yeah. And so much to gain, because what if you land on some crazy, like, wait a minute, who knew? And so it's just that nimbleness. You've got to be nimble. You've got to just always be thinking, how can I better the customer experience? What does this mean in their life? What else organically, or maybe like, you know, not as organic, can be part of their life for this? You know, it's, and it's fun. That's what's really cool, is that it's almost like a crossword or a puzzle to solve. And you're just like, ooh.
So I love that you're pulling all this data. I love that you have these tools that you can see what the consumer is doing. But have you ever had a time where the data just got it wrong?
Where the data got it wrong? Well, I mean, at the end of the day, the data is just telling you what is happening. What you do with that data is, you know, up to you. Because sometimes, like, for instance, we'll find that, you know, something isn't necessarily hitting it off as much as we want. And so what do you do with that information? You know, do you just abandon that product that you've spent all this time and energy in, or do you kind of try and figure out how I can adjust and pivot to that? So the data could be saying, hey, I don't know, I'm making this up, 2 of these sold. Yeah. Okay. So the data, if you just look at it that way, is like, get rid of this. This is a dog, you know, womp womp, try again. Or you could be like, okay, why? Let's go into the why. Why is it only 2? How can I pick apart this data? And so I think the data's never wrong per se. I think the interpretation can be skewed. And so you just want to like really like look at everything from every point of view. And again, if you have the chance, in former lives in my career, I've used User Voice, which is a great platform. You can also do exit interviews with the customer as they're exiting. It's like, get their feedback, hear it from their mouths, because the customer signs your paycheck. So listen to them.
Is that a bell?
He may have gotten the most bells out of anyone we've had on.
He's on a good track. We've had some big time bell people, but yeah, he's on a good track.
Can you tell that I used to work in copywriting, writing headlines? Give me a little snappy.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Go ahead, Summer.
Okay.
You were ready. You looked like you were ready to.
Go ahead, Summer. Take it away.
You were going to
taking a sip of water.
You were going to deploy.
I wasn't going to deploy, but one thing that's we talked about briefly, but we didn't dive into, and I really want to know your opinion, Mac. I'm struggling with all these sites and their pop-ups. Mm-hmm. Why are brands doing them?
Because they work.
No.
Sorry, Mac.
Well, and maybe they do. Maybe I'm the wrong demographic. Like, I click on an ad.
Sorry, go ahead.
But I want to speak specifically to like mobile, because I'm getting an ad on mobile. I get taken to their site, and this pop-up fills up the screen so much, asking for my email, and then they hide the little X, so it's really hard to see to get out of.
The clothes is like somewhere else.
Yes, and I'm like, I just wanted to look at the shoes you were just advertising, and now I'm just seeing a really pretty picture of a beach with a box to put my email in, and it distracts me so much. I'm just like, forget it. Like, I'm not going to do this, and it's such a frustrating experience. Am I the only one?
Well, let alone if they have that snarky, judgmental copy that'll be like, no, I don't want to save today. Like, that you have to use to exit out. And you're like, girl, can you calm down?
Yes, it's so insulting. And I'm like, can you wait till like I've added to cart and maybe I haven't checked out and then offer me something?
Well, and okay, and then let's flip it around, because I'm a thrifty, cheap bastard. Yes. Let's say it. I'm a cheap bastard. So one of my favorite things, because eBay, of all places, has taught me this, you put it in the cart, and then you sit on it because, now send me the 10%. Lure me back in. Lure me back in because I've shown intention. Like
that I will do.
Yeah.
But don't make it hard for me to get a product into cart because I can't even figure out how to click out of this. Like, so why are they doing? Is it working? Is what Scott's saying true? Is it working? And I'm just like the 1% of shoppers who won't do it.
I think it works because, again, I'm not the only cheap bastard out there. Everybody wants 10% off, honey. I mean, I get it. So money talks.
I want the savings too, but like I can't find what I want to buy because I'm stuck in this like.
But also, what was your user experience? Because yes, I want my wallet to walk away with a smile, but I also want a smile. It's like, okay, let me save that money, but don't do it in a way that makes me feel like I literally just went to like, the Barney's warehouse sale and I had to change in a room with 30 other people. And I will do it. I will strip down. I will get that Dior at 50% off, but I don't want to feel 50% off.
Exactly. That's just, we think with our head, but we buy with our heart. I mean, my God,
it all comes back to it.
It's the feeling of it. And also just on the pop-up annoyance, I'm with you, Summer, especially when the pop-up, and I do want to get into mobile because I think there's an interesting real estate play here, is when they make to X out of the pop-up, like barely visible and at like a micro, like seriously, you have to spend.
Don't you feel entrapped?
Oh my God.
You feel like, oh, this isn't a good experience. Even if you ultimately decide to go with it, you're like, I do want that 10% off judgy copy.
Well, that's why Mac, I will bounce and be like, does Amazon have it? Because I don't want to deal with this.
I know.
And there's plenty of people who are like, I don't care about, especially, I mean, let's be honest, it's always like 10%. I don't care about 10% so much that I want such a icky experience.
Not only do I not care about 10% so much that I don't want an icky experience, I don't want to have to spend $75 in order to get free shipping. So then I'm like, forget it.
That's a whole nother level.
And yes, I'm not talking apparel is very different. So apparel, I will not buy apparel. I like to buy direct when it comes to apparel, but other products, I won't put up with it.
Well, I think the shipping threshold is really interesting because that is an encourager for AOV. So like on the business side, it makes a lot of sense. Plus it eats into the margin. I can't have you buying one $10 item and I got to cough up $30 to ship it.
Only Amazon can afford that.
And the problem is they are a loss like leader who has set the tone now.
Yes.
So everybody expects that.
Yes.
But like, that's not fair to someone who's trying to deliver a better experience because if we're going to talk about the big A in the room, that's not a good experience. I don't want to go to Amazon. I feel like I'm literally like my grandmother now clipping like coupons and circling things in the penny saver. It feels so it feels so blech. It feels so beige.
It is such a crappy merchandising experience.
Awful experience. Everything looks like cobbled together in these weird colors that don't go together. Like,
it's not great. But it's working. What about the mobile situation? Because everything is so mobile intrinsic. And from a site standpoint, from that heat map back to the map. Finally, we can talk weather on here if I use heat map analogy.
Scott's thrilled.
Yeah.
Yay! You want to talk storm chasing? Let's go.
Oh yeah, because I'm 100 years old and I need to talk about the weather. Anyway, my whole point to this is, what does it do to the heat map? Because the real estate is shrunk. You just don't have as much room. You don't have, these homepage, these landscape, big video. You just don't have it.
Yeah.
It's literally like if I keep bringing it back to brick and mortar. It's like if I walked into your store and one of the sales associates comes up and goes like this, and I realize I'm visualizing right now, but like spreads their arms and will not let you see what's in the store. It's obnoxious. It's intrusive. It's a barricade. And again, it's like ultimately that sales associate may actually be able to help me get a size or, take my stuff to a dressing room. That's great. But you have now forced help on me that I did not ask for, forced an experience on me that I did not ask for. And, I'm a salty little bastard. So I will just bounce too. I'll be like, I don't want to deal with that. You're clearly telling me that my wallet is where you're laser focused and not the experience. And again, things where it's like, even if that ultimately works out, right? So like, say you give me 20% off now you're really talking. And I'm like, okay, I'm thinking just with my coin brain and not my heart, right? Great. But how
That's led
likely
to
am
a
I?
lot of disastrous things for me.
Yeah. And also, did you go back? And you're even touching on it. Did you go back? Did you care about that brand? Did you think that brand cared about you? And I mean, I'm not naive here, kids. Brands at the end of the day are there to make money. We all are. Like, we all work for a living. We're not volunteering. Unless you are, and bravo. But, you know, that matters. And it's like, yes, you are now, you know, penny wise and dollar foolish. You are now being short-sighted. You've got me once, but the chances of me coming back are very slim. The chances of me being brand loyal, because if you are just talking to my wallet, well, everybody else is too, honey, and it's a race to the bottom.
Yeah.
And so I have no loyalty to you.
Yep. I love it. I love the loyalty focus, because so many brands forget that. And I know what you're saying is true, Mac. They want money at the end of the day. People want to feel good about where they spent their money.
Yes. We vote with our dollars.
Exactly. So you have to give them a reason to like you outside of just purchasing from you. How do you get the word of mouth? How do you get them talking about you in a positive way? Because you won't last long term without it.
Absolutely. I'm a homeowner. I've lived here 4 years, but I bought like a 1930s home, and 4 years later, as you can imagine, there's projects, and I am looking for, well, ultimately a handyman, but also, specialists, right?
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, nothing matters more than word of mouth, because one of the first things I do, like if I need, I have a good plumber and I love him, but if I need like a roof thing, I asked my neighbors. I was like, hey, I just saw you got your, garage roofed. Did you enjoy that experience? They told me yay, nay. Based on that, I went. Experience matters, because they could have said to me, my neighbor, oh, I mean, it was the cheapest. Or, oh, if you say I referred you, you get $50 off. And maybe that would have compelled me. But the fact that they gave me a glowing review about like how the people cleaned up after themselves after the project was done, that they went around with a little magnetic thing to get all the nails up off the ground. I mean, these are the things that are a point of difference, especially if, with like roofing, because I met a ton of roofers and there was like price discrepancy, like it was a wide range. But, like the crew neck sweater, to go back to that, is only going to have so much sliding scale. So like, what's your other point of difference? What is the value you offer that isn't a value proposition, isn't about money and, all that?
Yeah.
What do you give that customer? Because that experience, that white glove service, the whatever it is the point of difference. Go ahead.
I do think a lot of brands forget this, because at the end of the day, once they get your sale, they're forgetting that the sale doesn't end until it reaches the consumer's door. So
it doesn't end then. It doesn't end then.
But the order, like I'm thinking, like the order doesn't finish until it gets to the door. Like, what does your packaging look like? Did it arrive on time? I know we're going off topic of the site experience, but
I don't think we are, because you know what, that packaging and how it's even in that box, you ordered it from a site, didn't you? So that is part of the site experience.
Yeah,
it's the same way if you bought it in store. How are they putting it in the bag? Are they wrapping it in tissue paper at the Gap? Are they now sealing it with a little Gap sticker that then the bag, all that stuff matters. We are visual creatures, that presentation and all that. It's the same reason why aren't you more excited about the trees or the gifts under the tree, or the gift that they get handed at the birthday dinner table, especially as adults? Aren't you kind of more excited about it than when, after you've opened it? Like, presentation matters.
So we're coming up on time, and I have one question I wanted to make sure I get
I got
out.
one more big one I got to drop.
Okay.
God. All right.
Go
ahead, Summer.
No, Scott, you can go first.
No, you go first, Summer.
Well, okay. We haven't talked about AI at all.
Yeah, were
you going down this route too?
No, he was talking about how I'm hoping passive AI as far as the answer box or the question box. I think we're all going to, I've said this 1,000 times, we're all going to end up with a question box on our screens, no matter what, to start a conversation. But go ahead, Summer.
Well, you look at like the year ahead of us. So let's talk about what do you predict is going to happen to our .com, and what do you think is going to be the next big thing for our sites in the next year?
I'll answer that kind of twofold in I'll touch on the AI, and then I'll touch on the answer of where I think we're going next.
Okay.
I personally, if in case the guttural I gave when you brought it up wasn't clear, I'm not a fan of AI. I'm a writer. My whole family is artists. I very much think that, and I mean, if you take anything away from this podcast, it's supposed to be about the experience and the personal and the heart. I don't think AI comes into any of that. I think it is a smart tool to use like internally as a business person to kind of like maybe make some suggestions or help you like formulate some of the questions that are in your head into a different way. Sure. But I don't love AI that goes customer facing. I don't love AI as just the answer. Yeah. And unfortunately, the world right now really wants to like kind of pound that drum that it's the answer, but it's not. It's a tool. It's a tool just the same as like, Shopify is a tool, like SEO is a tool. These are all tools. Like, and how you use them is up to you, but you cannot just build a house with a hammer. You need to like have all the other tools. You need to have the desire to build a house, because let me tell you, as someone who's literally just swapped out some plumbing pipes, I can't imagine what it's like to build a house. You got to have that passion. You just have to have passion. You have to have concern. And that piggybacks beautifully into, what I think is next? We're going to 180 away from like bleep, bloop, blip, blop. And we're going to go back to remembering that the number one thing that sells is like human touch, is real. Yeah. How can I speak to you about this product in a way that is like, hey girl, I get it. Trust me. This is how I use it. This is what it's meant to me. Yeah. This is what it's going to mean to you. Again, that word of mouth. Because like I could go online right now and look for like handymen, and an AI bot is going to spew out a bunch of, Angie's List garbage at me. But my neighbor told me one, I called them. They were like, they picked up the phone. We talked. I told them, they came, they gave me an assessment. They got my dollars.
God, you are an old soul.
I am. I mean, when I stand up from this chair, my knees are going to pop.
Okay. So my biggest thing is, and we do a little light Shopify work here at the old Quickfire, we try to do some light stuff, just kind of, change some templates and just get into the thing. But when somebody comes to somebody like you who specialize in this, and they're like, listen, I'm getting traffic and it's good traffic. It might not be great. I've identified, what my bounce rate is high. What is the first thing you instruct people to go? What matters? What's the prioritization of, do I just look at my home screen? Do I look at, what do I do? What are my first things I got to do? We talked about all kinds of stuff, but what's your little recipe of like, okay, you got to start here, then we go here, here, and here.
Yeah. I think it's like, if you have any problem, you should always be like the where and the why. Where did it start? Where is it happening? And then why? And you can use the various tools that I've talked about at this point. Like you can use the heat mapping, you can use the attractiveness scale, and then you can use the tool of the A/B testing to figure out, why is this happening and why that's not the right, how can I pivot, and address it? Because now the analogy I'm running with is home repairs. If you have a leak in your house, the first thing you go is, where is it happening and why? And so it's like anything. If you have a leak, you need to figure out where it's coming from and why. And, I guess the third question then is, and what do you do about it?
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of great sites out there. There are a lot of people who have figured this out, that they understand who their customer is and how they want to shop and how they want to get there. And then, there's I'm still a big D2C person. I think they've got another heyday in their sites. I mean, Shopify is doing phenomenal. They're doing great. But yes, please find people like Mac out there. Find people that are objective, that aren't so far into their bubble. And just, that's the problem. We get sucked into what we think. Well, they don't want to see this. They want to see that. Do they? Question mark.
Yeah. Yeah, and remember that, like, it's the humanity. It's like remembering that we're all people, and also remembering that we're all customers. You know what you like, so why not deliver on that as well? I mean, I'll give you kind of what you were just saying, a lot of sites that are doing it well. I'll give you a brand that I adore and the site that they have.
Yeah.
So I am a fragrance. I mean, my God, I could hold up so many bottles right now. I am a
I have no
fragrance
idea.
like slut. I love fragrance. I love to smell good. I love things that smell good. And there is this independent little niche brand. Actually, I swear to God, I did not even plan this. I have one right here. And it's called Imaginary Authors. And it's really cool. And each scent is got a story behind it. It comes in and I don't know if I do have this behind me, but it comes in a box that is a book, and it opens up, and then this is embedded in, like, like those like funny things where in movies you'll see them open it up. There's a bottle of scotch in there.
Yes.
So it's inside. They have like the little notes. This is like faux leathered paper because I'm vegan. Oh, and they're all vegan. But the site does it incredibly well. It does things where it's like, what are you into? What stories that we're telling you here? Do you like mysteries? Do you like romance? Blah, blah, blah.
Love this.
They do notes. They do sillage. So sillage is like how much you want to radiate the scent across you. Do you want that intimate skin feeling? I don't. Or do you want to like fill up a whole elevator? Yeah. And so it's all that, but they do it really well, and they're constantly like, every time you get that book and you buy it, or you buy a perfume and you get that book and you open it up, there's a little slot at the bottom that has the little sample vial of another scent. They do product extensions that are very like curated and thoughtful. Yeah. So not everything gets a soap, not everything gets a body oil, and they're very good at like making recommendations and talking to me, not only as a human, like as another person, but as like a geeky, like, girl, we get it. We love fragrance too. We love the romanticized story that comes with fragrance.
Okay.
Imaginary Authors. Got it.
Love that.
We cannot thank you enough for dropping all these juicy nuggets on us today. If people want to find you, where should they go look?
Oh, that's a great question. Well, all my social handles are MaxSmith1218. It's my birthday, December 18th, because I'm a Sagittarius.
Boom.
Boom.
So is my oldest. Biggest hearts.
Oh, yes, that's it. And just, look for me out on these streets.
I love it. Mac, thank you so much for visiting us today.
Hey, Scotty O here. Unfortunately, no wrap up. Summer had to go. Huge thanks to Mac Smith. We met him only because of people. People matter. All right. Thanks for listening. More great shows coming up this week. Bye.
Hey there, this is Haley from Quickfire, and they want me to read this so you know what this podcast is part of and how to find out more if you want. Always Off Brand is a production of Quickfire LLC and a part of the Learn and Laugh series on the Quickfire Podcast Network. For more information, go to quickfirenow.com. Have a good one, and thanks for listening.